Welcome back to the Delivering More platform, folks. I'm your host, Ben Alcar. Thank you, as always, for consuming the content morning, afternoon, and evening. As always, if you could, hit that subscribe button right down below. That's going to help us out more than you could ever know. We're closing the year out, folks. This should be the last video released in 2023 on the DeliverThat YouTube channel. And we're back with a best of 2023. We're going to close things out with a best of Meet the Teams. I think we did close to like 20 of them this year. We were averaging 2 a month. So put out a ton of content out there for you guys to meet our internal employees, whether they're driver experience, delivery operations, marketing, kind of behind the scenes, management, things like that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying kind of getting to know the ins and outs of who's operating behind the scenes a little bit better. And that's what we're trying to do, right? Create these relationships and get a little more foundation for when you guys are calling and texting and you know who you're working with on a day-to-day basis. So thank you all for your comments, your views, your likes, your shares, subscriptions, all of that good nature. But we'll kick things off. I enjoy starting with this question typically, just to kind of get a fundamental understanding, I guess, of where someone's background was, right? You know, some people, they don't have a job through high school, or some people start working at like 12, 13 years old in like 8th grade or something like that. So it's always interesting to see the spectrum of like how people have begun work, what their first job was, and how things go from there. So these are always some very interesting answers. I like finding this out early and often and getting the conversation flowing. So this is usually my first little icebreaker. But yeah, we'll kick it over. Best of first jobs, Meet the Team 2023. What was your first job like?
My first ever job was at Wendy's down there. Most of my family was working there at the time, so it was super easy to get in. And it was just basically working cashier, dealing with cranky customers, and, you know, customer service at its finest, right there at the raw point of it.
Yeah, what were spicy nugs around back there when you worked at that Wendy's?
I don't think we had spicy nugs yet, but I know that store particularly was experimenting with the root beer float frosty thing at that time.
I don't think I've ever had the root beer float frosty, but that sounds pretty damn good.
I think I was working there right when the Baconator came out.
I used to, when we were in high school, I used to be able to eat a Baconator so fast, and now like I don't even know if I could eat half of it.
I know, right? Just age, it's killing us.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. What was that your only job throughout high school?
Yes, it was. When I eventually graduated, I moved all the way to the middle of the state, and I lived there for about 10 years. But I haven't, this is probably the third job I've had since moving back to Canton. But when I lived in Carrollton, I only had the one at Wendy's.
You know what? I never had the gall to serve. I felt
Yeah.
like just talking to people and writing down and having to remember everything.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. But I got into sales, man. Like, I'm good with people. I
Right.
like to help others. So sales was like just a natural.
The next town over in Terrell, North Carolina, spelled same as our CEO's last name, but Terrell, not Terrell. And
Is it really spelled the same?
Terrell, but it's Terrell. And there was a country store there, and my first job was actually scooping Italian ice and ice cream.
Okay.
At that shop. I did that for about 4 months until I got fired. But,
Fired? You eating a little ice cream on the job?
Oh no, that was allowed. I was allowed.
Okay.
But my neighbor was my boss, and my neighbor was also working for us. And I got them to cover my shift. Then they didn't show up for my shift, and so it's like, you know, we're a little community. You know, I tried to point the finger like, no, it's your job. So my neighbor fired me, and then they hired me again the next year and gave me another shot.
16 years old, had just gotten my car, that old Chevy Cavalier. Jeez, man, that thing was. When you get a first car, it was a piece of crap, but, you know, it's a first car. So
Yeah, my first car was a 1994, I think, Geo Prism. And that's like not even a manufacturable car.
Yeah, that's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Once I got that car, I started working at Dairy Queen, cooking burgers, flipping burgers, my dad was big on work, so I got to work right away. I worked there for like a year, then I quit for the rest of school and had no job, but I started work around when I hit 16.
I love Dairy Queen. I'm a big Dairy Queen guy. I love the burgers. What did you have a favorite item to cook or to consume while on the clock?
Yeah, I used to make my own custom items. Like we used to have spicy chicken tenders. So I would literally, this sounds gross, but I was 16 and it was delicious. Okay. You get the buns, you get mayo on top. I think we had like some Chipotle hot sauce or something. You put the spicy tenders on the bun and then you put bacon on it. And I would just eat that like all the time in the freezer because you weren't allowed to, but I was doing it.
Just chicken tenders and bacon, no burger or anything?
No burger, nothing. Sometimes we had this fire burger, like this spicy one. I would make it, but when you're working there, you got everything at your disposal, so you don't ever make what's on the menu. You make what's good.
Did you have a first job in high school? What was your first job?
Grand Slam.
I knew that.
Yeah, you did know that.
knew
There's
that.
an infamous video of it. So
Oh my god.
we might have to clip
If
that.
you guys
in.
are lucky,
There
we'll
was
splice that in. But
there was
I'm
a-
trying to get that video graveyard.
Basically, Ben tried to dunk on a basketball hoop, let go of the rim, fell straight on his back. Very funny video.
Ben Alkire with 3 seconds left in the game. Coming down the lane.
I'm never gonna live that clip down. That was a tough moment in my lifetime to kind of deal with and get over in real time. If you pause the video, you can almost see me like looking back up at Jim and looking in the camera, like realizing that is all being recorded and on film to live infinitely. So it's just a tough look. It was a tough go. But Grand Slam was a great establishment growing up. Played some basketball, had some indoor batting cages, even a putt course. But let's keep things moving, right? This is kind of something I started asking towards the end of the year, actually. So we didn't have all of the meet the teams really cover this kind of as a basis. But I think as we got like halfway, maybe July, towards the end of the year, we kind of switched cameras up. So you'll notice the quality's a little better. The viewpoints are a little bit different. But I like to start asking people some advice for the drivers out there, for the fleet out there, how you guys are operating on a day-to-day basis. And it's obviously best to get advice from the people that you're going to be interacting with, right? So I think we got feedback from, like Mitch, Brittany, Taylor, people in the delivery operations department, people in the driver experience department, to kind of give you guys a better understanding of what they're seeing on their end and how you can utilize that information to have the best experience on our platform, right? We always want everything to go as seamless as possible, but everyone in the food delivery industry knows that happens, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 out of 10 times, and those 1, 2, 3 times things can snowball and things can rapidly kind of decline and go very poor if they're not addressed immediately, or if you, the driver, or we, the delivery provider, don't understand how to deal with that issue and come up with a solution to make sure everything's understood and all good moving forward. So these are some clips I find very interesting to share with you guys, and make sure you guys hear this before the end of the year. Some great feedback from our team in regard to how you can best operate on the DeliverThat platform. We like to say, by drivers, for drivers. We have the best fleet of delivery drivers out there in the nation, helping out these restaurant partners of ours. But obviously, problems happen every single day. There's drivers who are brand new. Yep. They don't necessarily know how to operate within our application. They don't know our policies. They don't know our procedures, things of that nature. So is there anything that comes to front of mind for you that you think would be helpful to share with drivers to make their lives easier day in and day out on our platform?
Yeah, I guess the main thing would just kind of be understanding a few lingo terms that we use, driver facing and in the office. So obviously with your driver application, you have a way to go available in the app and unavailable, and then you have a way to mark a job underway. So on the dispatching side, what we're looking for is, we get a notification when a delivery is coming up, however many minutes to the pickup, depending on the delivery. We get a notification to check on that driver, and what we're looking for is a driver who's available in the app. That means we have their location for that job just to make sure they're heading that way and everything's going to be good there, and then that they mark the job underway. So that obviously lets us know that they're aware of their upcoming delivery and plan on heading that way. So just understanding those terms and understanding where they are in your app just makes your life a lot easier, because you don't get blown up by multiple phone calls from our dispatch team looking to see if you are on the way to your order that you actually are already on your way to, and then also just helping yourself out. Obviously, if you're using the app correctly, things will go a lot more smoothly on your end. And then secondly, I would just add in just the main things we focus on at DeliverThat, right? We pride ourselves on, being on time to pick up and drop off, and then setting up that food for the customer. So that would be my two biggest thing, is just making sure that we're setting up that food, because that is, a price that the customers pay for when they pay for DeliverThat service. They want that food set up in a presentable manner so that when it's time to eat for them, they just go down the line, get what they need for lunch, and back to work, right? So just taking the time to, I know it takes a couple more minutes to set up the food in a nice manner, but I mean, you can get rewarded for it for our setup contest, right? So
Facts.
there are prizes involved for you just to do your job the way we ask you to. All you got to do is submit it to a link on our DAP, our driver assistance portal, and you can get paid out just for doing your job.
I know obviously you guys are doing a lot of outreach in regard to having drivers start their job, or mark arrived, or mark a timestamp, or take a setup photo to completely complete out those deliveries. Is there anything within your realm of things you think could be easily explained a little bit to make things easier for all sides?
When you ask that, there's not one thing that really jumps out to me, to be honest. What I will say is the communication piece, really having that communication between us and the drivers so that we can keep it full circle, keep our partners intact with the communication should anything be going on or anything that they need to be alerted of. And also from there is just becoming more educated about the gig economy as well as our partners, right? So we do have our help center through Zendesk that we have driver-facing articles about all of our partners that we're currently partnered with, kind of explaining the pay structure for those deliveries, how they like for their setups to look once the job is completed, all that good stuff dealing with those partners. So if I had to say anything, it's always be sure that you're communicating with us if need be. And definitely take a look at those partner articles before you start those deliveries so you have a good grasp on the expectations.
Things they can be doing that are proactive instead of reactive?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do have our driver assistance portal for our drivers. I can honestly say there's so much information on there to help them out. I think one of the biggest things that I come across is drivers just asking about the pay for the different types of deliveries.
Ooh, yeah.
We have multiple different types of partners, and we have Easy Cater, and it does take a little bit for our drivers to actually understand what they'll be getting paid for each type of delivery. So all of that information is on the driver assistance portal, but I'm always here to answer more questions.
Hell yeah. And you said I know you already said this, but you enjoy, being there to be like someone that they're out being the outreach to. You would be like helping them out through those issues, things like that. That's what you like doing in the day to day.
Definitely. It's really refreshing whenever, you can just help somebody and then they feel better about where they're at with everything.
Is there anything we can preview, anything dealing with the application, dealing with partners, dealing with the back end tech side of things that would make, I don't know, the drivers a little giddy to see what happens with the platform in the next year or so?
Yeah, so we did just launch a very sophisticated monitoring service, which it probably seems pretty similar to what it was before with the drivers, with a couple additions that messages them, texts them, and also alerts our agents when things are like possibly going awry, with deliveries, which I think could help remind drivers, hey, you got a delivery coming up. And that's going to evolve into something a lot bigger, right? We got the groundwork ready to help alerts and monitoring, which is huge in a time-based company. We have the groundwork for that now done to do bigger things. I think one of our next big focuses is assisting with routing, right? So we might have the opportunity to offer drivers deliveries where they don't have to worry about getting maybe a call from a dispatcher saying these don't work. They don't have to worry about reviewing. Well, they might want to review their route, but they don't have to worry about being as specific about it because we'll implement the software that can maybe do that for them. You know what I mean? So that'll be big. Take a lot of time off the drivers and the agents' plates. There's a lot more down the pipeline that I can't talk about, but the drivers will be aware of when it happens. Those are probably two of the smallest things that I just mentioned. So sorry guys, we're gonna have to wait and see here. There's a lot of planning and building that goes into everything. It's gonna take time, and I wanted to point that out. Sometimes we do get complaints from agents and drivers that say this doesn't work, this is a problem, we have bots, we have this, that, and we're working to actually assist in those things. But when it comes to software and integrating those things into a much larger scale application or multiple applications, it takes a lot of time, and it takes planning, design, all that kind of stuff. So it's not a lot of the complaints or issues that have arisen are actually being currently worked on,
Yeah,
and I want them to
just
know
takes
that.
a little bit to
Yeah.
evaluate how you actually fix those things.
Exactly. And it takes evolution of the application too. So maybe we don't have the capability right this moment. So we have to evolve the software to actually be able to integrate a fix or a way to deal with that,
Biggest thing from a dispatch standpoint, right, as far as just like delivery execution, would be the drivers just being able to just to use their app correctly, right? Like we ask our drivers to be available on the app. If you're not available on the app, we can't see your location. And to start the jobs when you're heading there, right? We don't want to, and that's basically just because, without getting too far under the hood, our alert system is kind of set up again or to play to what the drivers are actually doing. So if the drivers aren't using the app correctly, we're not getting alerts correctly.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the biggest thing, and that's the easiest way to execute your deliveries the best and to keep us off your back, right? Because if you're not using the app correctly, you're going to get a call from Dave Potter telling you to start your delivery for you, ask him where you're at, all that kind of stuff. So the best way to avoid that is to just use the app how explained in your onboarding process.
That was some good stuff. If you ask me. I like that we kind of I got some feedback from all different departments. I felt like there, right? You had Mitch, who's been overseeing our delivery operations team for I think maybe 2 years now or so. Brittany and Taylor both on the driver experience side of things. Cody on delivery operations, but a little more business development focused and restaurant partner focused. So that's always good feedback to hear. But key things to know, folks, IDeliverThat.com/DAP, the driver assistance portal. We've got articles on articles on articles, videos on videos on videos, all information about our platform. If you want to learn about us a little bit more, if you want to know how to operate on our platform, best case scenario, that's where we would lead you to get all that information. And then the stuff as simple as like Mitch is saying, just utilize the app, start your job on time, take the pictures in the app, get the signature, show up on time for the delivery, and we're rocking and we're rolling from there. So all very good feedback, I think, from the team and good advice to kind of hear and internalize moving forward into 2024. Before we close out the year, the last segment I do on every Meet the Team, this or that. I enjoy these questions. I know going into 2024, we have a brand new list of questions that I asked the office, searched externally to find some better options and some things that maybe apply to the guest a little more directly. So they kind of, maybe depending on where they're from or how they grew up, what sports they played growing up, things like that. So things in 2024 might look a little bit different. But through 2023, we stuck to the same questions, early mornings, late nights, dogs or cats, hot or cold, books or movies, and cooking at home or going out to eat. All very fun, entertaining questions to ask and kind of hear what people have to say along the spectrum of things. So got a ton of great responses here, but this will be the best of this or that. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings, for sure. Not even a question. Yeah, that's the easiest one we'll have.
Early mornings, but sleep is overrated, so both.
Okay, like a sleep when you die type person.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I respect that.
Late nights.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Just because of my previous conversation with Phil, I knew late nights was coming.
Mornings, no question. You know why? Second cup of coffee, Jim. Hits different, man. Every time. Not that first one, the second cup.
How about dogs or cats?
Great question for this man.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't rehearse for that one. I'm gonna go cats. I'm gonna go cats. Very tough decision. I have 2 dogs and 1 cat, but I will say that I feel like you have to earn the respect of your cat, and I love the unconditional love that my dog Thor gives, but I have to really earn that from my cat, and something about that, I just like it.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Keeping it moving. Love my girl. Shout out Reese.
Cats.
Cats. Okay. Do you have cats?
I actually have 2 cats.
Nice.
I do.
Okay.
Grew up with cats. I'm a cat guy.
Dogs. I'm allergic to cats, which is ironic.
Why is that ironic?
Because my name's Cat.
Oh yeah, duh. I was like, what are we talking about?
Dogs. Cheese tax. The cheese tax.
Oh, dogs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allergic to cats, so that's kind of like an easy one there, but at the same time, like,
You got a couple roaming around at that household,
Oh yeah,
right?
oh yeah. We got old girl Ida. She's pushing 13 or 14, and then Luna, which I believe might have just turned 3 here recently.
Hot or cold?
Cold, always cold.
Cold. Oh yeah. You're like the winter person.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we do not agree on that. Facts.
I think deep down in my soul, I would rather be hot. I think the question kind of gets construed a little bit, because if you're telling me would you rather be in hot or cold weather, I'd have to say cold weather, because then you can layer up and be all right. But like,
Okay.
if I'm gonna be hot or cold,
Like just your body temperature?
Yeah, I think I'd rather be hot.
Okay.
Yeah, because we'll leave it at that.
Without a question, cold. No doubt. Although I like the heat. Just, you've been to my house, right? You guys have?
Yeah, actually, I didn't necessarily consider
You
that.
could hang
but
meat in that basement, all right? You could literally hang meat down there. So, no, I would rather put on a sweatshirt than like be just.
Yeah, so your
But, like,
reasoning
I
is
don't-
like the layers.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like
you can always warm up.
I guess here, like, if we're talking about, like, I love the Arizona climate, the dry heat.
Yeah.
But if it's like in my house, like, to be comfortable, I like it cooler rather than warm.
Oh, hot, not even a question.
Hot.
Yep.
You like that dry heat out there in Phoenix? Was it
It's
nice?
amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. We went out there and just immediately, like, all allergies gone, asthma gone, and I was afraid because in Ohio, if the sun is out, it could be 55 degrees. If the sun's out, I'm sweating. So I was scared to go out there, and then went out there and it was kind of just what everyone said, like, hey, the dry heat's different, and it sure is.
Hell yeah.
Sure is.
How do you feel about books or movies?
Books or movies? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big movie guy, but I'm also not a big reader. But if you give me an audiobook, if you're saying in that context, I'd say books. But I love to listen to things. Like, always have a podcast on in the background, put a book on in the background, whatever. But I'm just not a big movie guy. So if in that context, if I'm allowed to listen to audiobooks, I'm going books.
So I like movies, but only if they have not been a book.
Ooh, okay.
Original movies only. If they've been a book, we're not. Yeah, I'm just gonna read the book.
Movies.
You got a favorite movie of all time?
Starship Troopers.
Super Troopers.
Starship Troopers. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It's sci-fi, aliens, all that weird stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in a Star Wars household, so I'm right in line.
Yeah.
I'm on par.
Gotta be books. Not a big movie guy. I think it's more of an attention span thing. But yeah, they gotta be books.
Cooking at home or going out to eat?
I love to go out to eat.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Favorite spot?
Either Table 6 or Table 6 is you know what? It's my go-to.
Yeah, Table 6 is that's a key spot in the township.
They have a nice little pour. It's a nice little cocktail place.
Yeah, great drinks for sure.
All the food's delicious.
So we do meal kits, which are really cool because you could have like a lot of different food. But I have a lot of food allergies, so I don't like to go places where I have to be like, okay, I want this.
Yeah, but I can't have that. This and this,
but I need to give you like a laundry list of other things, and I hate to do that
it's just
to
awkward.
restaurant staff. Yeah.
Okay. Cooking at home or going out to eat?
I actually love cooking at home. And now that I have a Sam's Club membership, shout out to Sam's Club, shameless plug here, I'm cooking at home all the time. I thought I was going to save a ton of money with the Sam's Club membership. Now you walk in, you walk out, and you've spent $250, but I'm cooking all the time.
I can make damn near whatever meal I would ever have going out, unless it's like I'm not good with like crustaceans, so like crabs, lobster, all that. I just never cook it, and that's what I love to eat. But like, man, I made a filet mignon last night. Oh, so good. And like I said, Reese got some, so she was.
Would you have asparagus with it? Mashed potatoes?
No, sautéed spinach and some diced up red skin potatoes. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, stay in to cook. I'm a big cook guy. If you guys want to follow my Instagram page, Dank Cooks, post a lot of meals I make on there, but love to cook. So that answer is easy for me. But I also love going out to eat. You know, I cook every meal for us. So when I don't have to cook,
it's nice.
It's nice. Yeah. So.
This should be a good one. I'm very interested to see what you say about this one as well. Cooking at home or going out to eat?
Cooking, no question. But you should be asterisk of smoking at home or like grilling at home, because I do a lot of I got like 7 grills, so like I'll be cooking hamburgers over here, hibachi over here, smoking a brisket over there. I'm serious. Like there was like a 2-year stint where like every gift I got was a grill.
Ooh, cooking at home for sure. It's over the last you could call it like couple years, but really over the last 6-ish months. One of my new favorite things is just like cooking with Holly at the house. I don't know why. It's one of those, because obviously we work together, right? But we're not in the same department. But we're still like, we see each other all day long. But it's still nice to get that quality time, like just us together with like one task in mind.
Yeah.
She is a lot more creative than I am in the kitchen. I am where's the instructions, and I'm gonna follow them exactly to a T because I don't know what I'm doing. But no, she'll be over here freestyling, like whipping up her own sauces, like homemade sauces and all that kind of stuff.
What a way to close out the show. What a way to close out the year. It has been an unbelievable 2023. Thank you, everyone, as always, for your viewership, for your continued interaction on our channel. The comments, the likes go such a long way, making us feel like we're providing you with content that is entertaining and also educational and has a place in your daily life where it actually is applicable to what you're doing or what you want to see and where we go from there. So thank you for all the feedback we've had throughout 2023. Thank you for consuming the content, and we'll see you guys in 2024.